Hi guys! Jake and Marisa back again for more live reactions to Uchu Sentai Kyuranger. Alright, so, what's that? Excited for some Kyuranger? There we go. I am so tired. It has been a long week.
It's my fault. Jurassic Park 3 was on TV, and it's not on Netflix on demand. You know, it's only on Netflix DVD, which we don't have. So I was like, no, I gotta finish watching this before we can make the video. So now it's like,
Yes, it's late because of Jurassic Park 3 for some reason.
Because Patricia Talman did stunts in it, and I wanted to see it.
Fair enough.
I don't even care about the plot or anything. I just wanted to see Pat Talman doing stunts.
I had forgotten, though, how, like, huge a deal dinosaurs were for kids in the 90s. Like...
Well, you know.
Like, I'm sure they're still popular, but they were huge in the 90s.
So are we talking about actual dinosaurs or Barney?
Well, I mean, you had... At all levels.
Barney was real big.
At all levels. You had Barney, you had Jurassic Park, and you had the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was just a trifecta of the early 90s.
That was dinosaurs.
Yeah. Dinosaurs were big in the early 90s.
I don't know how I forgot that, considering we just went to go see the movie again.
Yeah. Actually, this...
Well, last week. We mentioned all that last week.
Yeah. This week, I had a few days off, which was good, but I ended up spending most of it grading. So...
You got some cleaning done in the studio.
A little bit. Still working on that. Trying to get the studio into workable condition.
It's kind of the one expendable room as far as living every day goes. So when we moved and we had extra stuff we didn't know what to do with, we threw it all in there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do with all that stuff so I can actually use the room.
But I painted the wall that matches the old apartment, though.
Yeah.
So now we have 3 chroma key green walls and 1 wall that matches the old apartment.
Yep.
Which means it's ready physically.
And I gotta rig up a swinging bookcase closet door so that we can cover the closet while still having room for the bookcase, which exists in various shots, and that'll be a cool thing to build.
Yes.
But first I need to make enough room to build, which there is not currently enough room to do. But we're getting there. But anyway, I'm looking forward to more Kyuranger. What?
Your laptop just changed screens twice.
It worked for some reason, I don't know why. I was trying to remember something I was going to say. Interesting thing, I did some research on constellations.
Eh?
As far as, like, when they say 88 constellations, that is exactly how many constellations are currently recognized, for one thing. And apparently, those three pieces of
all one constellation
of our Argo, they're all part of a constellation that has since been broken down into 3 constellations because it was too large to really be properly cataloged. And do you remember how you were saying...
Because there was the guy in the comments who was talking about that.
Yeah. Remember how you were saying that that Puppis was, it might be related to Pupa?
Uh-huh.
Nope. It's the poop deck of the boat. Also, Crater, Telescopium, and Microscopium are all constellations as well.
Wait, we have a microscope constellation?
There's a microscope constellation, a telescope constellation, and Crater is the name of a constellation that means cup.
So these aren't just weird things they're pulling out of nowhere.
They actually are all constellations.
I didn't think we were still making constellations, but we must still be making constellations if we have a microscope constellation.
Well, these were all codified years ago, but...
I know, but...
Yeah.
I thought constellations were from, like, you know...
Many of them are
back
ancient.
in the...
I just did some research earlier today, and it was like...
Like 200 years ago,
but
kind of.
But more like, I want to say maybe the 40s. I need to double check the date. Was when they codified it to 88, and I assume that's when Microscopium and Telescopium were...
Well, Telescopium could have been around before that.
Oh, fair enough. I think they...
Telescopes were around long before...
I suspect that they came out around... that they were named around the same time, considering how similar the names are.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that was a fun fact that I wanted to share with you on
I got my
screen.
lyrics and everything.
Woo! So thank you, person in the comments, for having me look that up. That was good stuff. And now I know why they happen to have something that makes a cup.
Yeah.
It's the cup constellation.
It is a cup constellation.
All right.
Go figure.
So, with that, let's dive right in.
Yeah, let's.
Before
somebody yells at me for having my phone in the comments again.
Yeah.
Even though the only reason I'm holding it right now is because I have the lyrics on it.
Dramatic angle. Time for episode 12 of Uchu Sentai Kyuranger, the 11 Ultimate All-Stars. Make sure I got full volume there, and go. Do the thing. Play. Come on. Come on. Come on. You get me? Come on. Come on, play. There. Up. Magical sound. There we go. Hey!
Is he say his last name is Sakamoto?
I didn't quite catch it because I was moving. Ika again has the puppet's globe, or however it's pronounced. I didn't double check the pronunciations. That was my bad. Ika again is not a guy you want to mess with.
Oh, right. Right. Lucky.
Yeah, that's where we left off.
Yeah. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, covered in crystals. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Oh, he's got apparently some crystals that give him some level of prescience.
Yes, on his head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Yeah.
Well, head, shoulders, and knees.
Kyureta-chan. Who we got?
Lucky wasn't selected.
Ooh.
Is it the same day?
Yeah. He's messed up. I assume this is the same day. Ikagen's got a really weird face.
It looks like the clear blue part is almost like the bottom half of a skull.
Yeah.
Chopped off partway through the eye sockets.
I like that we're getting some pathos for Lucky.
So how many of those jackets do you think they have? Because this one's beat to heck.
I don't know.
Do you think they have like one damaged and one good, or do you think they have different levels of damage?
Probably. Oh, you mean from a production standpoint?
Yes.
Yeah, they probably have different levels of damage. Ooh, when the universe falls into cruel clutches, when its inhabitants are in sorrow, then by the power of the Q Globe's 9 ultimate saviors will appear to save the universe!
Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa! Kyuranger! Miyagata soras nisate itsuku hoshiga andaro kazaki mushakusha surunara we go kono sekai ni
Sore natsuku mugen no storai Fureta toki mita toki boku ra nani omoru no daru Kangaete wakanai koto hasaku chizuku space journey Yaranai ryu toka sagasazu ni Kire megachu your lucky star Kyuranger Minga kansora top shitake Kyuranger Inga lucky star Kyuranger Kimi ga kyuraku mirai Mite itai da Tobe Shinji Oh yeah And good luck. You were really throwing me off at the beginning.
I am a mess today.
Those are not those ways those vowels sound.
Though I'm not even. I just gave up on vowels. I just threw consonants at it.
I know, but it was really throwing me off until I got
sorry.
to Kitasura, the part where I'm really confident. Fureta toki mita toki.
Fair enough.
Like, I'm still
Well,
working on them.
you also were moving too fast on some bits, and that...
That's because I was trying to get a little bit ahead of you so you wouldn't throw me off.
Don't try to get ahead of me. This is gonna mess everything up. That's not how songs work. It's not a race.
Just a little bit. You can actually be just a little bit ahead or behind of people when singing together, and it actually still works.
Ooh,
because
visibility.
if that was not the case, then I would never learn to sing anything, because I usually learn to sing it by being like just a microt behind the other people or the recording I'm listening to. So yeah, I was trying to lead you a little.
Okay, I was not trying to follow you. I was trying to follow. I was trying to be a microt behind the actual song.
Yes, and I was trying to be on part at the same time.
You got ahead. You got ahead of the song.
Yes,
I
did.
That was the problem.
I was trying to be on par with it, but it was hard to hear it over you.
Ah. So you still accidentally got ahead.
Friends are. Oh. I got an idea. How about we try hitting parts of him that don't have gems on them? Because it looks like the gems light up when you're about to hit them.
They're trying to destroy the gems so that he can't keep doing that. But it doesn't really work that way, unfortunately.
No, he doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. The gems are actually lighting up just
No, wait. He's got an idea. What's his idea?
He sent his Q-Tama?
Number 16. Serpents. The snake.
Well, that would go well with him.
Whew.
He's overloaded.
Interesting.
You were instructed to pull out, so do it.
Because technically...
Say the go?
Yeah, that's what they used to.
It's been a while since I've actually paid attention to that, apparently.
Yeah.
I know say the change, but say the go. You'll never defeat my foresight. See, it does look. It kind of looks like a human skull there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But yeah. Naga's constellation is actually the snake charmer, not a snake.
Hence the eyes.
That's a lot of eyes. In a lot of places.
How would you even process that information?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about compound eyes. That makes some sense, but compound eyes are...
He can handle 10 compound attacks. You got 11 people.
Why do you need Qlet if you're gonna just do everyone?
What? What's that? Ooh. It's some sort of... It's a special Q-Tower.
The sign that we all need to head out together. You knew that before you did the twisty!
I think it's some sort of combo.
And he's not going to go out without his luck. Look, you just need to be one of 10 distractions. You don't have to be the one to hit him.
Yeah. This is an oddly barren little room here.
Kind of reminds me of the break room from,
I've never really been lucky. Interesting interpretation. Here we get the backstory time. Poor little baby Lucky. Interesting. Grew up on the planet Blue. I mean,
oh. He's got a bit of a complex that he's only a Kyuranger out of dumb luck, and without his luck, he can't handle it.
yeah. He calls upon luck.
Oh!
Nice.
Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need a friend to punch you in the face.
That's kind of how they met.
Everybody chill out. This is necessary. Yeah, maybe it's not that his luck has been changed by any actual fate, but that his luck only works so long as he believes in it. And because he's disbelieving...
Oh, he sent a
Scorpius Master.
Minister. Okay.
Scorpius Minister.
Yeah.
Scorpius!
Could it be Scorpio? Will it be Scorpio?
I think so.
Well, ministers are generally monsters, so I don't know if he counts. Or no, wait. Am I confusing minister with something else? Oh, no, yeah, no, minister. I mean, Scorpio was described as an assassin before. Like, it might be Scorpio.
He's making himself believe. Anne?
I don't know what the deal is with the little subtitles or with the little captions there.
It might be an advertisement or something.
Sure. There we go. 10 attacks at once. He's doing a lot of dodging. And yeah, that's not going well for anybody. He's got a hand in his pocket too as he's doing this.
I got one hand in my pocket.
And the other one's blowing up a bunch of Kyurangers.
Thank you for coming with me on that.
Yeah. Ikagen is rough, man.
But here's the other thing, though. Not only does he have 11 eyes,
Yeah.
he has 11 independently functioning eyes. Can you look at two different things with your two different eyes?
No. He's pretty... This guy is ridiculous.
Hence,
right
how
now.
does he process all that information? That's what I'm saying. It's not like compound eyes, where like a spider uses a zillion eyes to look at one thing.
I don't remember Ikagen owning them this badly in their previous encounters with them.
I know a chameleon can look two different ways at once.
Yeah.
They've got independent eyes.
Yeah.
But, more than two?
Wait, he says that he has more than 10
10
eyes? What the...
Oh.
Okay. He has a lot of eyes.
Apparently every single one of his suckers is an eye.
That is weird. Alright, so Lucky to the rescue, because reasons.
Because he now believes in his luck again.
Yes. Gemini.
Gemini. How many of him is he gonna make?
I mean... Is he really going to?
Yeah!
Oh my god. He's just gonna keep using it. Oh my god.
Like I said, how many of him is he gonna make? You didn't see that coming?
I kind of did, but at the same time, I'm like, well, it should only be 2. No, he's just gonna keep doing factors of 2.
And now he has more Luckies than he can get has eyeballs.
Apparently his battle cry rippled throughout the earth.
That's why you're the man who won me over.
And so many shippers cried out in joy.
They ship that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's weird.
He just shot out all his eyes.
No, that's not what's weird. That ship is weird.
Oh, okay. Well, Garu has this sort of undying loyalty towards him.
It's true. It's true. It's the same thing that makes people ship Wrench.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Which also doesn't play to me. Good grace and Rachel.
That's right, guys. You can totally defeat a blinded squid.
They sure are taking their time with this morph.
Well, this is, I believe, our first time doing all 11 at once.
Yeah, all 11 at once. Sorry, I almost said all 10 like a dum-dum.
Which is a lot.
Trickster. I love that pun. I love that pun.
It's cool. Nice. You do not see enough of Washi Pink's wings. I think it's adorable that he's Big Star. Kyuranger. That is so many ranges.
Well, Ursa Minor does have the North Star in it, doesn't it? Or is that Ursa Major?
Oh, that's Ursa Major.
Okay.
But I mean, he's both.
Yeah, which would be the Big Star.
Well, sort of.
Polaris is the Big Star.
It's the guiding star. It's more so amusing because he's the little guy.
Oh yeah.
That's why it's funny that he's the big star. Interesting new song in the background.
Oh, hush you! You were beating them all soundly.
Just 11 people. So, again, why don't you have Madako with you right now?
That's a really good question! Where is Madako?
I mean, this is cool and all, but
But where is Madako?
God, you are being so overwhelmed right now, dude. You are just getting up.
You know, funny thing about squids, they don't have the same regenerative capability of an octopus.
Hey, they got the Pups Globe back. And now he just said that. Oh, he's still going.
Don't think that I'll die like this.
Oh, okay. He's got the grow thing. Say the go.
Now they're gonna make that big thing we saw in the coming next week thing.
Yeah. There we go. Ryuteo, I believe it's. Or Ryuteo. I'm not quite sure the pronunciation. That's cute, man. No. Ryuteo. Yep. There we go.
That's
just a
still
dragon,
9
but
of
one
them,
with
isn't it?
style. That's 8, and then there are 3 that are still left over.
Yeah.
Which is
Sorry, I don't know how I
crazy.
q instead of 8. Because I can't math! And yet I'm married to a math
Made
teacher.
it rain.
Make it rain!
Oh, they're using the default Q right now. I was wondering if they were going to use an unusual combination, but so it looks like gold, silver, and who else is still, and pink are all still independent at the moment.
And it would also seem for the moment completely forgotten.
Yeah, where'd they go? Where's Washi Voyager and Bitsuke Voyager? Oh, there we go, the three of them. There they go.
You're getting rid of this ring.
Okay, there you go. Nice.
Yoshalaki!
Ooh, they mixed and matched. Combination time. Super Saiyan docking.
Because we're just gonna keep adding supers everywhere.
Well, that's more of a power, do you think? Oh, is that it? He just jumps on the back?
Purple becomes a backpack.
Apparently.
He ditches his legs and becomes a backpack.
I mean, he still has his legs.
Thus allowing,
Oh, look, his head goes on the front, though. That's cool.
Yes, thus allowing 3 to be on the back there in a shoulder-mounted fashion.
Yeah.
Scramble break.
I thought it was going to be a full-on 11 combo somehow.
Me
but
too.
We don't have the docks for that yet. There's got to be another big one coming. Bye-bye, forget.
Is this my fate then?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Woo! There we go.
I love it when they become the little people.
The little people are cool.
Because each of them can become a people all by itself, and that's awesome.
Yep. Now time for the other 2 globes. Vela and Karina, which are apparently the sails and the keel. So, Ikagen's gone, so now I guess they gotta defeat Madako again.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah, he's all shiny again. Got a fresh t-shirt too.
Oh, this one's red. The last one was black.
He got his lung back. Just had to believe in himself.
Oh, come on. When are you not making something special to eat?
Yeah.
Madako, is that you?
No. Is this Scorpio or is
It
this
must
somebody
be.
else?
Yeah.
It is Scorpio, okay. He's got a monster form now. That's
That-
interesting.
Kind of suggests
That others go through the same thing.
that they were Huma formed to begin with.
Oh, Kyuranger. Oh, Kyuranger. Oh, Q. Bum, bum. Ooh, la, boo, ba, ba, dama, oochie, dama. Doop, da, doop, dippa, dippa, doopa, doopa, da. Dippa, boop, ba, ba, dippa, doopa, dippa. Doopa, boop, dippa, dippa, doopa, doopa, da. Doopa, doopa, boop, dip, boom. Q, tama, 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 Q,
What?
Q. They got rid of the thing. Q, tama, 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 Q.
Are we dabbing now?
I don't know what we're doing. Q, tama, 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 Q. Q, tama, 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 Q.
I hope I reverse direction on this one.
Q, ba-ba-doo, Q, tama,
Nope.
tama, Q, dip-a-doo, ba-dee-ba-doo, ba-dee-ba-doo, Q, tama, Q, dip-a-doo, dip-a-doo, ba-ba-dee-ba-doo. Now, I'm pretty sure what happened was they realized what the
This
dance
looked
was.
bad with a kid in it?
Yeah. So,
That's the first time we had him in it.
I do find it... Okay, Stinger challenges his brother is the next episode.
But that's the first first time we had the kid in it. And then they would saw a kid doing this, and they went, oh, no. That's...
Or something, I don't know. I had heard that it was going to change this one, I had almost forgotten.
Cute. Tama.
Hey! Black and orange fighting alongside each other.
I bet we're not going to address that issue at all.
I really want them to address that issue.
They're not gonna. I swear, I'm gonna get so buff by the time we're done with it. But I need to do this as well. Otherwise this one's gonna get...
I'm not gonna lie. The tragic backstory doesn't actually make Yosha Lucky much better. Because he's still running it into the ground.
Yeah, he is.
Actually, you know one thing that's kind of funny?
I think they just glossed over it way too quickly.
One thing that's kind of funny that somebody pointed out from the first episode. Do you know how many times he said Yosha Lucky in the first episode?
None.
9. You get it? There you go. 9 times.
I give you 9 pies!
Probably said 11 times this time.
1 pie for each day.
There was a lot of Yosha Lucky in here. That was his mantra.
That is his mantra. Not
Yeah.
just in this episode. That's
true.
not a mantra. It's a battle cry. It's a slogan. It's a catchphrase.
Yeah.
Catchphrase. Yeah, that's it. It's a catchphrase.
And he did manage to help defeat Ikagen through something that really had nothing to do with luck. He just actually had a good idea. Apparently.
I can't believe you didn't see that coming.
I mean, I sort of
The
saw
moment
it
the
coming.
Gemini came out, I'm like, how many is he going to make? You're like, 2?
Well, it was more of a 2. Because usually because it's called the twins. I didn't know exactly if it was how it was gonna work, but apparently it's you can just exponentially keep doubling. So that worked pretty well.
It might have something to do with the fact that I just watched the end of Paradigm, and that involved making like 10,000 clones of yourself.
Fair enough.
A playthrough. It's a video game.
Yeah.
Paradigm's a video game.
But yeah, so Ikagen is gone, and it looks like now
Madako's still around.
Scorpio is taking over for him.
Yep, and Madako is like, yo, hey, I'm the number 2 around here. Well, welcome to the planet. I'm here to serve you.
But yeah,
Let's go kick some Kyuranger butt.
So Ikagen lasted for about 7 eps. We had, and then...
I think it's very interesting that Scorpio is apparently a rubber suit monster now, which indicates that it's entirely possible that various and sundry other rubber suit monster generals were, in fact...
More humanoid?
More humanoid to start with. Now, that may not be the case with, Monster of the Week rubber suit monsters, but generals could very well be previously humiform. I'm saying humiform because they're not necessarily human. I mean, they have frickin' scorpion tails, or, be a dog person, but...
I'm wondering... Well, that could be interpreted 2 ways. Either being part of dark matter has given him a monster form, or Stinger can do that too. Who knows? Maybe Stinger has an alternate form that we just never see.
That's also a possibility.
So Scorpio's going to be our new chief dragon here. I wonder how much longer this business on Earth is going to last for, if this is just going to keep rolling or not. Because it seems like right now the big goal is to get Argo.
Zuto.
Zuto?
Zuto.
What's that mean?
Forever.
I don't think so. Well, here's the thing. Once they get Argo, like,
At least
they gotta use it for something. I feel like that might be the turning point in the series when they get Argo. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe Scorpio is just going to be the final boss of the Earth arc or something. Assuming that they defeat him at the end of this next arc, he may just end up being a recurring boss throughout the rest of the series. Who knows?
Yeah, it's forever. Got it right. I used the right Japanese word. I
Cool.
was just checking.
Cool.
I don't have very much of a Japanese vocabulary, so. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't misusing Zuta.
But yeah, I thought it was a little weak that Ikagen just... The way Ikagen was handled in this one was a little weird. This episode basically focused almost entirely on beating Ikagen. And Madako just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And all of a sudden, Ikagen was capable of taking on
giant form.
everybody at once. Well, giant form wasn't unusual.
Oh, you're right. The eyeballs thing never came up before, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He should have been inconsistent.
Well, it's not so much that it's inconsistent. It's more so just that it just never came up before. It's a little weird to...
He was more easily defeated in the past.
He's been driven off before. I mean, he's always...
And he didn't even have the Sanzu River water excuse.
Fair enough. But
That's
yeah,
a really good excuse.
he got a big... He got a big, like, almost an upgrade in power in this episode in terms of being able to take on the whole team single-handedly.
Yeah.
And then...
But there was no showing that upgrade. That's why I say it was inconsistent, because it's less that he got it and more that it just
And then they
appeared.
defeated him pretty... And then they actually defeated him pretty quickly once they got it all... Once they got it all figured out. Because the mecha fight was basically just a sort of repeat of, oh, he's too powerful for everything we have. Oh, here's a new thing, and now he's done.
Oh, that's kind of standard for these shows.
Eh,
He's too powerful for everything we have. We'll get a new thing.
True. It was still... It still felt a little rushed there. Also, it's just...
In this case, it was just too easy to get the new thing.
Yeah, it wasn't...
Because it was just a new combination, and they didn't have to work at it.
Yeah.
They did not have to attain a new Q globe to do it. They did not have to practice. They just were like, hey, we can do this.
Also, it's kind of a bit of a lackluster combination. You literally just stick one on the back of the other, and that's it.
And his legs, they came together into like a... Making it almost like a backpack.
I don't know if the legs actually came together or if they just pointed the toes. It was kind of hard to tell.
It looked to me like they went together.
Possibly, yeah.
So he became like a backpack.
Yeah, it was basically just like... Floop. It was like he was jumping on him like a piggyback.
Yeah.
Except without wrapping the legs around.
Pretty much.
But yeah, I was kind of hoping that there would be some sort of docking mechanism for the...
I was thinking more like he was like a... He's like... This is a terrible thing for me to think, because his legs were together and it's kind of like a backpack. It kind of reminds me of those backpacks you carry babies in.
Oh, like a Baby Bjorn thing? Hello, Bob. So I'm assuming that we got probably I'm curious how Argo is going to manifest once we get it. Like, is Argo going to be a Zord or not? What is Argo going to be?
I'm kind of hoping it'll be an actual spaceship, like Orion.
But somehow it's apparently the super powerful thing that could potentially take out dark matter, which is a big deal. I'm curious what that's going to entail.
It's going to be like the helicarrier from the Avengers. The big, big, big ace in the hole ship.
I mean,
that's just me saying.
And Orion
is
already
of that
a pretty
because
big
Avengers
ship.
was on TV while you were setting all this up.
Yeah. I suspect it'll probably be some sort of jumbo Zord or something like that.
Jumbo Zord.
Seems pretty likely.
Will it be a jumbo Zord or will it be a jumbo Zord?
It'll be very large.
Will it be proper Serpentera size, or will it be Serpentera on the moon size?
I'm not expecting full-on Serpentera size.
Serpentera on the moon size, then.
Oh, probably somewhere in between. The Serpentera on the moon was basically just a standard Zord size almost.
Fair enough.
Maybe something more.
Deca.
Yeah, Deca Command, Delta Command Megazord, or Pure Midas.
Thinking the wrong.
Or maybe something.
I was trying to think of the Sentai name for.
Or maybe something bigger than that. But maybe something like Omni-sized from the end of SPD. who wasn't quite full-on Serpentera, but he was still considerably larger than your average sword.
And when you think of SPD Command, it was an entire building.
It was. It
Full-
was
full of
big.
people. That's pretty big.
It was big. It was, I think, bigger than Super Train, bigger than and probably on par with Pyramidas when in Warrior mode. Those two were other
Presumably,
big ones.
Pyramidas was pyramid-sized, which
Um,
would make it bigger.
it was a very large sword.
The pyramids of Giza are much bigger than...
Pyramidas is when he stands up in Warrior mode is about
Wait, that pyramid turns into a dude?
for the Ultra Sword, Zero Ultra Sword. At which point it's about almost twice the height of a normal Megazord.
That's a small pyramid.
I mean, Megazords are still taller than buildings, and skyscrapers are pretty big.
I think you underestimate the size of the pyramids.
How tall
Or
are the
I
pyramids?
overestimate the
I
size
think
of
you
the
may be
pyramids.
overestimating. Like, how tall are the pyramids? I mean, they're big, but are they like taller than the skyscraper?
I think so. That's why they had to be so wide, so by the time they got to the...
Well,
I could be wrong.
that's
Why I said I may be overestimating the size
they might be wider than a skyscraper, but I
Well,
don't
they are
think
definitely
taller.
wider than a skyscraper. That's not even a maybe.
Yeah.
How tall are the pyramids?
The Great Pyramid of Giza is 455 feet tall.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just a bit taller than the Statue of Liberty. Okay,
No, what? Really, Statue of Liberty is only
305 feet.
okay.
Leaning Tower of Pisa is 186. It brought me all this stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
The Great Pyramid,
Oh,
though,
yeah.
is 455 feet. The Pyramid of Khafre is 448 feet.
Okay.
The Sphinx is only 66 feet.
Hmm.
I thought it was much bigger than that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That seems
It
about
brought
right.
me all these other landmarks while I was
Oh, cool.
just asking for the Great Pyramids height.
But yeah, so that seems about right as far as Pyramidas size. Pyramidas was pretty well pyramid sized, which was
This is a
still
Samsung,
huge.
by the way. I know she sounds a little like Siri, but that's the end of it.
But yeah, I feel like
And I'm gonna buy
Argo might be a particularly large Zord.
You can buy super exclusive chargers for your super exclusive overpriced cell phones.
Mm,
I like phones that can be charged with micro USB.
yeah, I know.
Sorry, I've got that on the brain because it was in chapter 10 of the fic I'm reading.
But yeah, I'm still feeling like Lucky hasn't really been given enough
Phones use
of a
Apple phone for
story
private
to
internet.
justify his level of plot focus. Like, okay,
And selling special overpriced
he
chargers
was
for your
like
special
he was apparently the sole survivor of his planet and got sent off in an escape pod.
So he's Kal-El.
More so I was just going to point out, Garu's got the same story, basically, except without the escape pod. And he was an adult at the time. And that's about the only difference.
That does make a very big difference.
I mean, it does make a difference.
Developmentally speaking,
In terms
Lucky
of their...
was in no way...
In terms of their personality, yes, but in terms of...
No, I just mean, not even just in terms of their personality. That sort of thing that happens to you when you're too young to understand it is way different than when you're old enough to understand it.
Yes.
Even if, say, for example, 15 versus 4.
It'll turn you into a very different person. Yes.
It will also have a deeper impact.
Like turning you into a very different person.
Fair enough. There's a difference between different and worse. I'm saying it's worse. Not just different, but worse.
You're saying he's a bad person?
No, I'm saying the effect was more profound. A greater magnitude, not
He's
just
a
different.
very different person, then.
You can be very different and still be at the same level.
Okay.
I'm just saying
He's very heavily affected by it, yes.
he's
However,
more heavily affected by it.
whatever. The point is, story-wise, it's not more complex.
It's not even unique.
And it's not unique within the characters.
I mean,
That's the point I was making, not how it affected him psychologically.
one soul survivor per show, please.
I mean, you can have as many soul survivors as you want. It's more so that, as far as backstory goes, that was not. It feels as though he does not have at least at the moment, a sufficiently complex backstory to justify his level of focus compared to the rest of the cast.
No,
that is the point I was trying to make.
I feel like he gets that level of focus because he's the Red Ranger.
Yeah, exactly. But even as a Red Ranger, he's still been stealing the spotlight a lot.
Really? I always felt like the Red Rangers got an inordinate amount of focus in
everything. But they don't always.
Except Time Force.
Wes still got a ton of focus in Time Force.
Yeah, but he at least got... They at least let Pink have an awful lot of that spotlight, too.
Look at, Dino Charge.
She really could carry that show.
Like, in Dino Charge.
Aaron Cahill's a good actor.
Tyler didn't get that much more focus than, say, Shelby.
That's true.
Or Coda. And look at, RPM.
Scott was the most boring ranger in that whole show.
He didn't get the same level of focus as Dylan.
No, he didn't get the same level of focus as anyone. He was shoved in the background all the time. He was shoved in the background by his own father, who wasn't even a ranger.
I know. So the
Mason Mother
Bleepin'
Truman
is that
had more screen time.
Lucky it has been a particularly prominent Red Ranger.
Except, I'm not sure if that tracks with Sentai.
And it's more egregious in this season, where
there are so many of them.
Yeah, it's not
to spread it over.
It's like, okay, if you have 5 people and one of them gets 40% of the focus, okay, you got 60% of the focus spread out over 4 other people. They each still get 15% of the focus. Here you have 11 Rangers, and you still have one getting
forget 40. He's got 50.
Yeah, because he's managed to be prominent in most episodes, with the exception of episode 7, which I'd forgotten to mention last time.
Trying to say though is that when you were talking about Red Rangers who didn't get that much focus, those are all Power Rangers. This may be par for the course for Sentai.
Fair enough. I don't know. I've seen
Samurai
Abba
Red
Ranger.
had a lot of focus.
Yeah, but I've seen
Magi
Abba
Red
Ranger.
had a lot of focus. I never saw Abba Ranger.
Abba Ranger, I mean, he did not get.
No, Abba Ranger.
It was. Abara Killer got I think just.
Well, the
as much
6th
focus.
Ranger always does.
And that was the thing. Abba Ranger only had. Only had 3 Rangers. Only had 3 core Rangers, and then you had the Black Ranger and the White Ranger, who each were very prominent in the story.
You know what I mean by 6th Ranger. It's not necessarily.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I don't know. I'm not sure if. I guess I haven't seen enough Sentai to make.
That's where I was going. We haven't seen
it.
enough Sentai, so we may need to poll the home audience on that one.
But I do get the impression that it's not generally this prominent, and it feels more prominent due to the cast size.
Yeah, due to the cast size, definitely. It's even more inordinate an amount of focus when there are so many people he should be sharing it with.
Yeah, I mean, let's go through it again here. As far as him playing a major role we've had a dozen episodes now.
I'm gonna have to let you go through it because I don't have the same kind of memory.
First episode, it was his introduction. Second episode, he recruits Naga and Balance.
Okay.
Third episode, he's the only one apart from Champ who doesn't get stung by Stinger, and he has the whole heart-to-heart thing with Champ trying to convince him that Stinger should be part of their team.
Which is the last time we ever hear of that.
Yeah. Episode
Stinger
4 at least focused on Raptor and not so much, and a little bit her relationship with Spada. Lucky, he did a little bit.
But he wasn't stealing focus.
He wasn't, I wouldn't say he was stealing too much focus.
5 Mr. Pega?
No, 5 was when Stinger joined the group, but you'd still had Lucky interacting with... No, wait, Lucky was interacting with the kids in the 4th episode, who came back in the 5th episode, I think it was. No, wait, no, the kids were the 5th episode. Kids were the 5th episode.
This is why I'm relying on you. I don't remember these things.
And then you had Mr. Pega in the 6th episode. 7th was Balance and Naga for Balance's birthday, so at least Lucky took the back seat there. But then you had... let's see. The next one we had... Alright, so then we had the two-parter introducing Ryu Commander, which... Okay, Lucky was prominent in the second part of it, but not so much in the first.
And he was very prominent in the introduction of Bear.
Kaguma. So he's been prominent in the recruitment of a lot of the Rangers. Or in the Ranger introduction episodes.
Yeah.
Which has been a little weird.
You're right. He's stealing thunder in everybody else's introduction episodes.
Yeah. And then even the episode right before this was, we had the storyline of,
Well, I
Stinger
feel like the
and
one
Kataro.
just before this and this one almost feel like a two-parter.
Yeah, they were a two-parter focusing on Lucky, even though there was a
Exactly.
separate plot line with Kataro and Stinger that went nowhere.
But for Lucky, it was a two-parter.
Yeah. And the two-parter was he was unlucky for an episode, and so we got a little bit of backstory.
Yep.
But we're really not letting the other Rangers shine as much as we should right now.
No.
And it's unfortunate. And I was a little bit nervous about that when he, from the get-go with just his personality, that he seemed like he might be a spotlight stealer.
And apparently, this is not all the Rangers we're getting.
I'm sure we're getting more.
So it's going to become even harder to get any focus on the ones we've already got.
Yeah.
This is going to wind up with so many characters that we don't really get to know any of them. And that is disappointing to me because I'm a glutton for deep character story, which is why I loved RPM so much.
So keep in mind, at this point, we are approximately 1/4 into the series.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And we hardly know these people.
Yeah, especially Champ right now. Right now, they a lot of times the other Rangers kind of get reduced to the Greek chorus.
Yeah.
We'll get.
Sometimes Balance and Naga go and do a thing.
Yeah.
Because they've got their own
Which
dynamic.
was what made the birthday episode great.
Yes. Sometimes they get to do their thing.
And then the episodes 7 and 8 were both really strong on character.
Because Spada.
On the balance there, because 7 you had Balance and Naga, and it was a tight focus on those two with everyone else playing good supporting roles. And then 8 you had Spada and Joe.
Yeah.
And so that was a good tight focus on two. Every time they seem to focus on two
Pairs.
pairs.
Well, that's the thing.
And so
that's
long
why,
as it's a
for
pair
example,
that doesn't include Lucky, we're usually good.
That's why, for example, Hami got, nothing, because she didn't have a pair.
She got paired with Lucky and sort of Garu in a little bit.
It's like her focus episode, she wasn't...
And then Mr. Pega stole the spotlight.
Stole the spotlight for everything. If you had,
That's right! Once an episode, we complain about Mr. Pega! Kyuranger is still doing pretty good. It's just that the Lucky focus is starting to wear thin. I was hoping that his tragic backstory this episode would be a little bit more compelling. Little kid left all on his own.
Hami should have maybe shared with Champ so he could have more screen time, instead of sharing with frickin' Mr. Pega.
Yeah. And that would have been a good episode for Champ, because Champ really needs to address his backstory with his creator being apparently murdered by Stinger, which I guess everyone is okay with.
Nobody
they haven't
has
addressed it. He hasn't been.
But you know what I bet's going to happen is it might be addressed next episode.
Oh, maybe Scorpio might end up being revealed as the one actually behind it. Perhaps. We will have to see.
That's kind of where I'm thinking. So, maybe he mistook the two Scorpion people for each other.
But I will admit, even so, it still feels like you left that hanging for too
And it'll
long.
probably be resolved in like
that,
5 minutes, just like the problem with
that plot line deserved some focus. Specifically at episode 6, I think would have been the time to address
what was
it.
the one that was just
As much as Hammy needed a focus episode, that would have been the time to address it.
Just
and
like
you didn't even really give
just
Hammy
like
a
an
focus
episode ago where there was like a 5-minute plot where we're like, what the heck?
Yeah, with Kotaro and Stinger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
So that's what's going to happen next episode with Stinger and his brother. I'm calling it right now. It's going to be a 5-minute freaking plot line, and we're going to spend the rest of the time.
Scorpio has been built up, so maybe. Like, he hasn't been built up that much,
him
but
and
he
his
has been
brother
built
thing,
up. Yeah.
that'll be a big deal. But the part
Where Champ.
that'll be a 5-minute thing, and it'll be done with, and we'll never hear of it again.
Yeah, like.
If we even hear of it at all next episode.
Like, Champ.
I am such a cynic right now.
Champ and Hammy in particular have gotten such the short straw in this series.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was saying that Hammy needed to be sharing an episode with Champ, because the two of them are getting shortchanged a lot, and if either of them is in an episode with somebody else, the other person's going to get more focus.
Yeah.
The two of them need to share, so at least one of them, even if one pulls focus from the other, will get some backstory and some, character development.
Yeah.
Character development, yo. What is wrong with me? Why am I doing this?
I don't know.
I'm like the whitest Hispanic person ever. I should not be doing this.
But I wouldn't mind the Lucky focus if he had a complex story to tell. Like, I gush about Power Rangers in space.
Yes.
All the time.
And it was all Andros all the time.
But he was a huge story driver because of his character dynamics with other major players in the show.
This is true. Whereas Lucky just steals focus, takes it, and ignores everybody else.
Like, Lucky's point of focus is based off sheer force of personality, which is fine, but it does not mean that
plot involved.
But he should not be the, he shouldn't act. He's not really linked to any story elements right now.
That's what I get for chugging the end of my Mountain Dew 10 minutes ago.
Hopefully, because I'm sure Lucky focus isn't going away.
No, it's
Hopefully, the destruction of his people in his flashback will be something that
I
is
hope it
important
becomes
later.
relevant, yeah. Because
And
if that's not relevant, then it's just going to be, why?
Yeah.
That had better be relevant.
I mean, I can see why it was in there, but it would still be
When we're done,
weak.
before the cat gets into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take care of that.
Cats! They interrupt YouTube videos all across the internet.
So this ended up being a little bit more ranty than usual with
Yeah.
Kyuranger.
I don't know, I guess maybe we're cranky because it's nighttime.
Oh, maybe. But also just
We're sick of Lucky.
just a little bit. Well, I guess one of the things is that Kyuranger has been a really fun series so far.
It
And
has no substance.
this one,
I'm going back to my original statement. This is bubblegum Sentai.
well, that's fine, but that's the thing. This one tried to be more substantial, but ended up not so much. And so we didn't get as much of the fun aspects.
If you're going to
that
be
make the show
bubblegum, just
so
be
enjoyable.
bubblegum.
Or, I mean, no, if you want to go with something deeper, you gotta make it count. Because otherwise, you're trading in the thing
You
that
can
makes
go deeper, but then it stops being bubblegum.
Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta make it. Well, the reason I say you gotta make it count is because if you're going to.
I mean, I'm all for mood whiplash.
Yeah, if you're going to focus on something else, when the strength of your series has been established as one thing,
But they
you
keep
need to make that
wrecking-
something else
They keep
as
wrecking
strong
their
as
own
your main
dramatic
thing.
moments by feeling the need to put some levity into the middle of their drama.
Yeah.
You can mix the two, you really can, but it's all about the timing. When you put your levity in the wrong place during the drama, you undercut the drama.
Well, this one felt like it was for the most part lacking a lot of levity.
No, this was less levity and more procedural action.
It felt like there was the dramatic sticking points in this episode just didn't quite feel suitably climactic, I suppose. I mean, I get how it ties thematically into things where, Lucky's whole shtick has been being lucky, and then he's unlucky for an episode, and then he needs to overcome that
in order to defeat the arc villain. But
Meh.
his means of overcoming it was repeating his catchphrase over and over again, which I'm sorry, has been already kind of getting
duplicating
old.
himself so many times so that he could say his catchphrase loud enough to make the world ripple.
Which I'll admit was kind of funny. That was a cool way to do. But that was the other thing. That should have been a moment of him affirming his ability outside of being lucky, which, I mean, it kind of was, but that wasn't what they'd been focusing on.
Yeah.
And so it didn't feel
There's a, what
like
is
a suitable...
A missed Aesop there.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a suitable...
Not an inverted Aesop or ruined Aesop, just a missed one.
Climax for that. It didn't seem to fit what it was leading up to.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cool climax, but it felt like a cool climax for a story they weren't telling. Maybe that's just our interpretation of it, but yeah, this one was a little bit of a letdown. It had some cool moments in there. It's nice that they're trying to go for something deeper. I hope they become more effective at it, and I hope they regain some level of balance. No pun intended there. In terms of covering their characters, especially as more, I'm sure, will continue to be introduced. So I think that's enough ranting on this episode.
I think we've gone down the negativity tunnel a little too far, and it's time to put a stop to this. And hopefully we'll have a little bit more fun next week, because I am looking forward to the whole Scorpius and Stinger thing.
I hope that
I'm really hoping that actually pays off. I'm skeptical as to how much the champ thing is going to be involved. I feel like they're probably going to throw it in there and resolve it in 3 minutes flat, and it's going to fall flat, and I'm going to be disappointed. But I am hoping that they will at least, play the brother drama.
Yeah. I think going up to 11 this early might have been a mistake.
It was.
We'll see if they manage to balance them better moving forward. Anywho, so until next time, farewell, Ranger fans, and let the power protect you.
And it's the pelvic thrust.
No more obscene gestures for you, little